roads in the area to protest household rates, bills and electricity issues. Let's go to our reporter Pule-Letshwiti Jones, who's been with the protesters since around 7 a.m. this morning. Pule, I see you even have a bulletproof vest on now, so I assume that the situation is still quite tense.
Yeah, I mean, just a few minutes ago, they were actually stopping people to come into this section here in Tembisa. Currently, you're probably asking why I'm walking so fast. I'm trying to get closer to the community members who were just further away from me, just a few meters away from me. I'm being told that there's a meeting going on there now. But obviously, this stems from early on what we saw, very ugly scenes here, a standoff between police officials and, of course, some of the residents. And at some point, we could actually see that community members gaining momentum, pushing back police officials and overpowering them. A few minutes later, members of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department had to actually call for backup and see how they can try and disperse the crowd. And of course, we're wearing bulletproof vests right now because there was just bullets and rocks flying all over. I witnessed rubber bullets earlier on. Live ammunition. That was a sign from police officials trying to actually desperately push back the crowd. And what we're witnessing here is, as a result of what community members are saying, are high municipal rates, electricity issues as well, amongst others. They're waiting for the mayor to come and address them, but it seems as though there might just be a crack in the solution in terms of what some of the residents have now found. What we're doing now, there was a crowd there, we're just trying to see what response they've gotten and what's the next step, because we were being told earlier on that this whole problem that's going on here and the whole protest will continue into the evening if they don't have concrete responses to their problems.
And Pule, while you walk there, in terms of police visibility, I see that, at some point, just tell us what happened in that situation when police realized that the crowd was actually much larger than them, to a point where they needed to retreat and then come back with backup.
Yeah, well, they at some point, they were actually crying out for safety reasons. I mean, it was like they were facing hundreds and hundreds of community members just throwing rocks, so you can imagine how tense it was. At the crossfire was, of course, the media as well, so you somewhat had to retreat. And it was very, very crazy and pandemonium as well. But hopefully this time around there will be a solution. I hope you can hear me. I'm just going to try and intervene and see what actually is being spoken about here. Maybe if you perhaps can just give me a second and maybe we can get a solution and hear what is going on here.
Sure.
Okay. Can we just take it live because we want to know what's going on? Okay. All right. Just perhaps has heard about that. They're saying that we're not permitted to actually take this meeting live, but I assume that they're speaking about a way forward in terms of what's going on here, in terms of what kind of solution they can come with. I'm trying to be as polite as I can because earlier on we did see how the crowd can actually react when they're quite angered, with the throwing of rocks and being quite violent. I mean, we saw pangas at while at some point. So it goes on to tell you how aggrieved they've been and how they feel as though the councillor, who they say has not responded to them, is letting them down. But at the process of this as well, we do understand that this whole shutdown has been in the planning process for about 6 weeks. That's what we're getting, that's what we understand. And now it seems as though their problems are still not addressed. We'll be getting some bit of insight as to what is the way forward and what is going on here.
All right, well, let's give you some time to investigate and hopefully convince one of those community leaders to tell you exactly what they're talking about and what they think the solution should be. Let's leave it there for now. Pule-Letshwiti Jones live for us in Tembisa, where a protest is taking place over electricity.